Hello, hello. We are a couple minutes early, but I'm just I'm feeling so good. And I just wanted to be here with you guys early. Um yeah. Shoot, it's been busy. It's been busy, busy, busy. It's first day back to school today. Uh sorry, I have an eyelash doing a thing. Um 2 of the last 3 weekends have been in Ohio, and it's possible that 2 of the next 3 are also going to be in Ohio. Um There's gonna be a trip up north coming up. Just lots of stuff. It's very exciting. We're doing a ton. Um, and just the people in my orbit are making stuff happen, and it feels good. It feels really, really good. And you guys are a part of that. Wednesdays are Wednesdays have been great. I'm gonna fidget a little bit more. Sorry guys, but you would probably rather see more of my face than my waist. So yeah. But I'm so impressed with my friends. Um, it's just out there getting it, not letting anything stand in their way. And it's so cool. And that's movie friends, that's music friends, that's um just people making moves, buying houses, moving, like literally moving. Um, yeah, it's cool to watch. And I think a lot of us have gotten to an age where we're like, well, what it was is what it was going to be. And then we all said, no, it doesn't have to. So I'm here with you guys on Wednesdays, and um, people are playing music. People are making movies. People are just getting out there. I love it. Sorry, I'm going to sound just really repetitive for a minute because it makes my heart happy. Yeah, making moves, not settling down, keeping stuff going. So yeah, speaking of keeping stuff going, we are going to keep going in our Irish fairy tales tonight. And we are starting on the new section. This one is called Heroes and Giants. And like our, excuse me, love and romance, there's a little, I don't know if you guys, there we go. There's an introductory page. So we'll read that, and then we'll move on to tonight's story. As always, when you come on, say hello in the chat, so I can say hey back. And we're just going to have a great time tonight. It's Wednesday, and we're together. And I love Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays. Ancient tales of Celtic warriors and their fearsome opponents exist so strongly in the mind to this day due to the richness of the storytelling tradition. Fionn McCummel, legendary hero of the Fenian cycle, features here in the story of how Finn went to the kingdom of the big men, while the great Cuculain of the Ulster cycle is hero of the Knighting of Cuculain, told here by Standish O'Grady. Note how spellings inevitably vary, revealing again the rich oral development of folklore. So, sidetracking. Just for a moment, please bear with me. This is one of the things that I find so fascinating about different cultures is when the written word came into their region or their culture. Because somebody still had to figure out how to take a story that had been passed down from generation to generation to generation, playing telephone all along the way, and then put it down on paper. And then that's the story you have. How close to the original? Nobody really knows, but that's the story you have. So I just find that fascinating. Sorry, squirrel. Back to their introduction. Tales of heroes naturally involve quests and giants. Fionn and Cuculain encounter giants, as do the protagonists in the Giant Stairs and the Shiaganan and the Gruach Ger. Another hero, he of the Story of Coneda, or the Golden Apples of Lochlearn, embark on a quest to secure the 3 golden apples, the Black Steed, and the Hound of Supernatural Powers from the King of the Firbolgs in Loch Earn. Okay, so we have a little bit of context. So tonight's story is The Knighting of Cuculain. And before we get started, I'm going to lose my water. Take a little drink. You guys, take a little drink. Okay. Tuck that right down there. Okay. One night in the month of the fires of Bel, Cathfa, the druid and stargazer, was observing the heavens through his astrological instruments. Beside him was Cuculain, just then completing his 16th year. Since the exile of Fergus MacRoy, Cuculain had attached himself most to the Ardruid and delighted to be along with him in his studies and observations. Suddenly, the old man put aside his instruments and meditated a long time in silence. Satanta, said he at length, art thou yet 16 years of age? No, father, replied the boy. It will then be difficult to persuade the king to knight thee and enroll thee among his knights. Yet this must be done tomorrow, for it has been revealed to me that he whom Concobar MacNessa shall present with arms tomorrow will be renowned to the most highest. Retire for a season among thy comrades, nor go out among the warriors until thy strength is mature. The next day, Cathfa procured the king's consent to the knighting of Cuculain. Now on the same morning, one of his grooms came to Concobar MacNessa and said, O chief of the Red Branch, thou knowest how no horse has eaten barley, or ever occupied the stall where stood the divine steed which, with another mortal breed, in the days of Kimbe Macfionton, was amongst to bear forth to the battle the great war queen Macamongaru. But ever since that stall has been empty, and no mortal steed hath profaned the stall in which the deathless the Amaka was wont to stand. Yet, O Concobar, as I passed into the great stables on the east side of the courtyard, wherein are the steeds of thine own ambush? And in which is that spot since held sacred, I saw in the empty stall a mare, gray almost to whiteness, and of a size and beauty such as I have never seen, who turned to look upon me as I entered the stable, having very gentle eyes, but such as terrified me, so that I let fall the vessel in which I was bearing curds for the steed of Conwell Clarina. And she approached me and laid her head upon my shoulder, making a strange noise. Now, as the groom was thus speaking, Caushram and Macha, a younger son of Concobar, came before the king and said, Thou knowest, O my father, that house in which is preserved the chariot of Kimbe MacFionton, wherein he and she, whose name I bear, the great queen that protects our nation, rode forth to the wars in the ancient days, and how it has been preserved ever since, and that it is under my care to keep it bright and clean. Now this day at sunrise I approached the house, as is my custom, and approaching I heard dire voices, clamorous and terrible, that came from within, and noises like the noise of battle, and shouts as of warriors in the agony of the conflict, that raise their voices with short, intense cries as they ply their weapons, avoiding or inflicting death. Then I went back terrified, but there met me Minrowar, son of Gherkin, for he came but last night from Mohairn in the east, and he went to look at his own steeds. But together we opened the gate of the chariot house, and the bronze of the chariot burned like glowing fire, and the voices cried out in acclaim when we stood in the doorway, and the light streamed into the dark chamber. Doubtless a great warrior will appear amongst the Red Branch, for men say that not for 100 years have these voices been heard. And I know not for whom Macha sends these portents, if it not be for the son of Sualtam, though he is not yet of age to bear arms. So they're all getting the visions. Excuse me. Thus was Concubar prepared for the knighting of Cuculain. Then, in the presence of his court and his warriors, and the youths who were the comrades and companions of Cuculain, Concubar presented the young hero with his weapons of war, after he had taken the vows of the Red Branch, and having also bound himself by certain geasa. But Cuculain looked narrowly upon the weapons, and he struck the spears together and clashed the sword upon the shield. And he brake the spears in pieces and the sword, and he made chasms in the shield. These are not good weapons, O my king, said the boy. Then the king presented him with others that were larger and stronger, and these too the boy brake into little pieces. These are still worse, O son of Nessa, said the boy, and it is not seemly, O chief of the Red Branch, that on the day that I am to receive my arms, I should be made a laughingstock before the clan Aruri, being yet but a boy. But Concobar MacNessa exulted exceedingly when he beheld the amazing strength and the waywardness of the boy. And beneath delicate brows, his eyes glinted like gleaming swords as he glanced rapidly round on the crowd of martial men that surrounded him. But amongst them, all he seemed himself a bright torch of valor and war, more pure and clear than polished steel. But he beckoned to one of his knights, who hastened away and returned, bringing Concobar's own shield and spear and sword out of the Tetabrak, where they were kept, in equipment in reserve. And Cuculain shook them and bent them, and clashed them together, but they held firm. These are good arms, O son of Nessa, said Cuculain. Then were there led forward a pair of noble steeds and a war car, and the king conferred them on Cuculain. Then Cuculain sprang into the chariot, and standing with legs apart, he stamped from side to side, and shook, and jolted the car until the axle brake, and the car itself was broken in pieces. This is not a good chariot, O my king, said the boy. Then there were led forward 3 chariots, and all these he brake in succession. These are not good chariots, O chief of the Red Branch, said Cuculain. No brave warrior would enter the battle or fight from such rotten foothold. Then the king called to his son, Caushra Meadmacha, and bade him take Lerg, and harness to the war chariot, of which he had the care, and wondrous grey steed, and that one which had been given him by Kelkar, son of Uther, and to give Leg a charioteering. That is an interesting word. Charioteering equipment to be charioteers of Cuculain. For now it was apparent to all the nobles and to the king that a lion of war had appeared amongst them, and that it was for him Macha had sent these omens. Then Cuculain's heart leaped in his breast when he heard the thunder of the great war car and the mad whinnying of the horses that smelt the battle afar. Soon he beheld them with his eyes, and the charioteer with the golden fillet on his office, erect in the car, struggling to subdue their fury. A gray, long-maned steed, whale-bellied, broad-chested behind one yoke, a black, ugly-maned steed behind the other. Like a hawk swooping along the face of a cliff when the wind is high, or like the rush of the March wind over the plain, or like the fleetness of the stag roused from his lair by the hounds and covering his first field, was the rush of those steeds when they had broken through the restraint of the charioteer, as though they galloped with fiery flags, so that the earth shook and trembled with the velocity of their motion. And all the time the great car brayed and shrieked as the wheels of solid and glittering bronze went round, for there were demons that had their abode in that car. The charioteer restrained the steeds before the assembly, but natheless a deep purr like the purr of a tiger proceeded from the axle. Then the whole assembly lifted up their voices and shouted for Cuculain, and he himself, Cuculain, the son of Sualtam, sprang into the chariot all armed, with the cries of a warrior springing into his chariot in the battle. And he stood erect and brandished his spears, and the war sprites of the gale shouted along with them. To the Bocanas and the Bananas and the Gentiti, Glindy, the wild people of the glens, and the demons of the air roared all around him, when first the great warrior of the gale, his battle arms in his hands, stood equipped for war in his chariot, before all the warriors of his tribe, the kings of the clan Aruri, and the people of Emin Maka. Are these all going to be little short ones? Sorry, guys. I don't know. That, I'd like to try to picture that. Anywho's will be. The next one, I think, is the next few. Well, yes. The next few are going to be much longer. So we will save those for next week. And now we've got Heroes and Giants. Heroes and Giants. Also, I am still collecting ideas for additional days during the week, what you guys would like to see. I think we're going to set up a separate little for my mommy, auntie, nanny friends, and we're going to start doing some children's bedtime stories. So go ahead and send me some more of your favorites. I have a list going already, and we will get started on those. And we may do those every other day, so that there's always something, or almost always something, for you guys to share with your kiddos. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight. And I so appreciate you guys sharing your Wednesdays with me. And we will be together again soon, next week for sure. But I might pop in. You never know with me. Thank you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.